Hello, everyone. I'm Kyle Vierick, the Assistant Director for Student Success and Engagement here at Columbia Basin College, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce the video that you're about to see in your Angel Shell. It is a proposal by Greg Pierce, who's an art instructor here on the campus, as well as a few art students who are planning to do an installation on the piers in Seattle. Now, in order for them to do so, they need a specific dollar amount in order to be able to stay in hotels and do the installation. Now, the reason this is important and why we need you to be able to vote on it is because they're requesting actually, dollar amounts that are going to come from a budget called the ATA. And what the ATA is essentially is a piggy bank that our ASB uses that rolls over from year to year. So dollar amounts that we have not utilized in a given year actually get rolled. We don't lose the money. The money gets rolled into this account, the ATA, and we save it for special projects here on campus that benefit students. One just like this art installation. Another example would be the pavilion, which is out between the L, H, and S buildings. So that dollar amount is we have a large account there. It won't be taking any money away from clubs necessarily. It's just very important that we as a student body decide to allow money to leave that account for special projects. So what I'd like you to do is watch the video, take their proposal into consideration, and if you have questions, what I'd like you to do is email Greg Pierce here on campus and address those questions with him personally. So his email address is gpierce, P-I-E-R-C-E, at columbiabasin.edu if you have any questions or concerns about the proposal. Now, if you are the club council representative for your particular club, that means you will be voting on this proposal. So I would like you to also allow your club members to know that they can view the proposal online as well if they want to weigh in on your voting. Ultimately, you are a representative of your club, and the primary representative will always take the voting precedence over the secondary. However, if the secondary does vote and for some reason the primary doesn't, we will take the secondary vote. So watch the proposal. If you have questions, let us know. And if you have some trouble viewing it, please contact us and let us know as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to view it, and look forward to speaking with you more soon. Thanks.
They are going to give you an exciting presentation of this opportunity that we applied for specially last fall to do an outdoor installation art piece for a national conference in Seattle. Just to give you a little background on the conference, people come from all over the world to a different city every year, and there's all sorts of different events and activities that they're going to explain a little bit more. So it's a really exciting opportunity. It doesn't come to the Pacific Northwest very often. So we're hoping that this will be something that we'll be able to do and actually get some really excellent exposure for CBC as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Kelsey, and she'll go through the PowerPoint for you. So thank you.
Hi, Kelsey. So this is the title of our project that we're going to go for. The Whether or Not is the theme. The installation of waterfront. And so we're going to give you an idea of what kind of ideas we came up with to kind of give inspiration for our installation. Our inspiration is the formation of clay, kind of taking that natural state of clay and how it comes down from mountains, weathering, and we're going to try and incorporate it into our installation. So it starts down here, we've got snow falling, breaking down, all kinds of erosion. You can see these recognize the hills around. Erosion happens all the time. And here comes some more erosion, the rocks breaking down into, here's some more pictures. This is actually from our area, Washington, that's Oregon. And breaking down into what we use as clay. Glaciers in the mountains, breaking down the rocks. And here are some natural formations of clay, which you see just out in nature. Right here is this huge marsh. It's got this watered down clay. We call it slip. We use all the time in ceramics room for different kind of techniques. Have you ever been to like a beach or a lake or river? You just stand in the clay. It's really fun. I always like to play in the clay on the riverside. And then here we have like a clay blend where it's actually dried into these really cool shapes. So this is what it looks like just naturally in nature. And we're hoping to incorporate the nature of clay into an actual pre-built piece that we're going to do. So that's inspiration for the project. Here's some of other formations of clay actually inside the earth as it forms these really cool shapes, kind of like bubbly shape. In the mountains, underneath everything, you can't even see it, and then they dug them out and they put them on display. It looks like this. Really cool rounded shapes, some cool textures from like the mountains and rocks, and just some closer pictures of the shapes. Hopefully we can incorporate these, replicate these really cool shapes. I think they're fun, into our piece. And some textures just from outside. Anything we want to put into our piece to make it look more like an actual mountain forming clay, kind of more inspiring. Some really cool shapes in the rocks. It's kind of fun. That bubbly thing, just breaking down the erosion again, kind of like the cracks, and some more erosion, putting that in our piece. Some of the textures we're going to include. And so this is the NSECA. It's pretty much the conference that we were talking about earlier in Seattle, just bringing the whole world of clay into Washington, which is really exciting. This stands for National Council on the Education for Ceramic Arts. It's going to be for this year, 2012, from March 25th to 31st. So it's going to be a very exciting week.
And you can see Ray here also has a poster that has a lot more details on it as well. So we're going to leave a poster with you guys as well too.
Yeah, it goes a little bit more detail what's at the conference. There is tons of stuff going on. Tons. There's about 175 ceramic exhibitions. That is a lot. We probably won't be able to see them all, but we'll at least get to see some really cool other like professionals putting their art on display, some ceramics we can look at, different kind of events we can go to. Here's a few of them. Some of the museums will be exhibiting a lot of ceramics. We'll go around 10 of them, which is probably won't be able to hit them all, but we're going to try to see as many as we can. And the historic tile in Seattle. If you've ever been to Seattle, see the really cool tile work, they'll be talking about that. And the last one is the 20 outdoor installations on the edge of the Elliott Bay, which is the Weather or Not, which is us right there. This is our part in the conference. So we're just a little part of it, but it's quite a big deal because it's a really big conference. Some dates. Installation setup for us would be March 24th to the 5th. And then the actual conference will be the following weekend, which is March 28th to 31st. And then we'll have to take down our installation on April 1st. So it's around 5 days we'll have to be there if we want to get the conference and the installation. Set up the takedown. And this is where we're going to be setting up. This is the pier. So we can kind of put in a reference of where we want to be if we want to be on the water or anywhere. So it's right out in the open. Not only do we have everybody at the conference that's going to be there from everywhere gathering at the conference in Seattle to see our art, but also everybody, the Seattle public, can just walk through and see, oh, this is what they're doing at Columbia Basin College for art. So it's really exciting, putting ourselves on display out in the open for everybody to look at, which this is the Seattle Pier, and it's going to be somewhere around there. It's a really big pier, so we've got a lot of space to work with. We pretty much have no restrictions on size, so we can build it as big as we want. This is about the estimated budget for the registration for the conference. Lodging for around 5 nights, gas, food, museum, parking, bus fees, and an extra miscellaneous $500 for just anything that goes wrong or anything that's not covered. Total estimate, this is around the high end, is around almost the $6,000 mark, but this is like the high end of it. If we need to, we can cut down, but we're hoping that we can get some budgeting for this. So that's around the total that we came up with. And so why fund us? Definitely a lot of benefits for CBC. First one, great exposure for CBC. Like I said, we're putting CBC's art on display in Seattle for everybody to look at. So it's kind of being like people going by saying, oh, that's really cool. Is this what they're doing at Columbia Basin College? Oh, I've never heard of it. Looks kind of cool, you know? Definitely great exposure for the college. Greatest opportunity for students definitely a really big thing for me. This is really exciting. Getting to work with a group of people. I know most of them, so it's really cool. I'll be getting together, building this really cool project. I've never built an installation before, so a lot of great opportunity. Also, class involvement. We'll be having like a day in class where just the ceramics classes can input too. So not just our group, but anybody in the art department that's taking a ceramics class can put it in to be displayed on Seattle, which is really cool. And definitely a lot of experience, very educational. I don't really know much about formation of clay, but it looks like I'm going to have to learn about it, which is kind of cool. So I'll be learning a lot of new things. And a lot of experience working in a large group of other artists. We got so many different ideas going in our heads. We got to put it all together, and it's going to be tough, but I think we can do it. We can do it. And just like if you ever think of back in Rome when you had the ceramics, they built those huge statues in Rome, and it was a group of people, not just one artist. There was the main artist and then 15 or 30 to 50 different people working on huge statues. So we're recreating that, which is really cool. We've been doing it for a long time. So our chance to work in a large art group. And any questions?
I'm going to pause here and I'm going to have Michael get ready to turn the recording off. But can you go back to your slide that actually had the amounts on it? Right there, right here. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows, and I'll say this for the camera as well, they're only going to be reimbursed or get the funding that they actually spend. So if we approve $5,800, they can't spend more than that, but if they spend less, we only give them what they spend. Does that make sense?
Okay, thank you so much for taking the time to view the video and the proposal from the art group. Obviously a very important project to them, and will benefit our students and the community greatly. So we'd like you to take that proposal into consideration. Remember, if you are the primary or secondary representative for your club, make sure to go out and vote as soon as possible prior to February 2nd so we can let that group know. So make sure that you get in there. If you have any questions or concerns about how you're actually voting and those types of things, please come up to see us in the office up here in ASCBC across from the bookstore. Look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.